Hello, hello. I am Misty from soulandchoice.com, and I am really excited to be diving into the third video of this little mini series. So, to give you some background before we dive in, like I said in my first video, I believe that there are some ABCs of living your best life. And as humans, we're faced with a ton of decisions, and so our best life is created one choice at a time. Unfortunately, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of conflicting opinions out there that we can get kind of turned around. What really is the best choice for our life? And I think it's possible if we look at your authenticity, your brilliance, and your clarity. And so for this little mini video series, we're diving more into your authenticity. Who are you really? How do we get rid of some limiting beliefs? What's your inner compass? And today we're going to talk more about your decision-making strategy. So I may have mentioned, no, I'm pretty certain I mentioned in the last video, that your decision-making strategy comes from human design. And this is more of a woo personality thing. It's based on astrology, it's based on the Kabbalah, it's based on I Ching. So there's a lot of different things going on here. And if you're not a more spiritually curious person, it might seem like, okay, that's astrology. But pause for a second. My view on personality assessments is that even if they're wrong, you've learned something about yourself. And that's the most important part, is that you're learning about yourself. So even if you took a little mini quiz online and it said, your princess is most like Jasmine, and you're like, that's not me. Take that for what it is. You just realize that's not me. So that must mean I'm the opposite. So you're still learning something about yourself. So no matter what the personality assessment is out there, no matter what the astrology thing says, whether or not you agree or disagree, you're still learning about you. And that's what I want to focus on mostly today. So with all of that being said, we are going to look at your decision-making strategy based on human design. And if it is a little woo, just go for it. Just suspend your disbelief for just a tiny little bit for this video. And then you can, you can throw it away later if you'd like. That's always my philosophy. This is life according to Misty. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then totally throw it out the window. Like, this is your life. And I just want what's best for your life. Okay. So in human design, in case you haven't already, you can just Google one of my favorites. I don't know why I am not remembering the website right now, but you can Google talking body graph. A lot of times you'll find one on jovian.com, jovian.com. Or just Google find my human design. You put in your birthday, your birth time, your birthplace, and then it'll give you a chart. And this chart is very expansive, confusing looking. But I don't want to talk about all of that. That's for an entire another month-long session. That's a thing in and of itself. But I just want to talk about the 5 different types that there are. So if you know your type, awesome. If not, pause this video, go Google that, come right back. And now we have our type. So pause. Perfect. And you know your type, you paused me and you came back. Beautiful. So there are 5 different types. There's generators, manifesting generators, manifestors, projectors, and reflectors. And each of these different types has a way of making decisions that is best for their type. And so as we're talking, especially in this little mini series, as we're talking about moving from confusion towards clarity, as we're talking about facing a decision and feeling overwhelmed, one of the best things you could possibly do is figure out your decision-making strategy, because if you have that in your toolkit, you know how to best make decisions. That makes sense. So generators, let's just start from the top. Generators and manifesting generators both have the very similar decision-making strategies. And ideally, generators and manifesting generators are waiting to respond. Sit with that for a second. Generators and manifesting generators, your best decision-making strategy is to respond. So what does that mean? I kind of envision it as a giant ping pong game with the universe. So the universe will send you something. or God if you believe in God, but something will come into your life and you'll be yes or no. And your job is to lob it right back in with that answer. Like, yes, more of this. I want more of this. More of this, please. Or it's like, no, thank you. You can take this back. And it's a giant ping pong game between you and the universe. It's listening to, does this feel right for me? Is this a uh-huh or an uh-uh? And that's another thing I should probably go into. Generators and manifesting generators do have very, what's the right word here? Very instinctual responses to things. So if something comes into your life, pause for a second. Does your body, or not does your body, but how does your body respond to it? Does it feel like a uh-huh? Does it feel like a uh-uh? Because the part of your body that has those answers, like your intuition, is very primal. And it doesn't have the full capacity of all the words. It's not going to say, I'd like this, but maybe not this color. It's going to say, You send it back. The universe tries again, and you send it back. The universe tries again, and you send it back. But it's a very primal response. It's very, or and then it'll say, or and so you want to listen to that. You want to get as quiet as possible when you're facing a decision. So something has come into your life and you're sitting with it and you're like, I don't know. Did you pause to listen to your ahas and your uh-uhs and your hums? Yes? Okay, perfect. What did it tell you? And then send it back. So that's the best way for generators and manifesting generators to make decisions about their life, is to pause when something is in front of them, really hone in, really connect with those primal instincts of yes, no, maybe, and then keep sending it back and forth between you and the universe. And eventually it's going to be exactly what you want it to. So if you want to be a public speaker, or if your goal is TED Talks one day, then every time the universe sends you a presentation, listen to that. Is this a good presentation? Yes, doing it. Sending it back, telling the universe this is it. It'll start sending you more and more talks to respond about. If a talk comes your way and you're like, you know what, this doesn't feel quite right, respect that. Send that back to the universe and say, not quite. Try again. Keep going. We're almost there. Give me what I want. So generators and manifesting generators, you want to respond. You want to have that eternal ping pong game with the universe so that you can continue to grow and make the best decisions for you. And that's one of the easiest ways to cut through all of the confusion and get to clarity, is listen in to your primal response. Okay, so that was generators and manifesting generators. We're going to move forward to manifestors. So manifestors are the only type that really truly has a huge power source within them. So again, you can believe in this, you cannot believe in this, but let's run with it for a while and see how well it sits with you. So manifestors, according to their chakra system, they have a defined sacral center. So they have the energy it takes to create the things. Manifestors, your only strategy for decision making is to tell other people what you're doing. Like, that's it. It's all you have to do. If you feel like you want to do it after you've told other people about it. That's what works best for manifestors, is by informing and not bulldozing. Because if you do start, because as a manifester, you're going to want to go. You're going to want to make decisions and keep it going. Like, you have the energy, you have the ability, you have the vision, you want to keep it going. But if you don't stop and pause to consider other people and let other people know what you're thinking about doing, it's not going to work, and you're eventually going to hit some walls, right? I'll also say that manifestors have a lot of kind of tangible energy. So other types out there, other humans, can feel how powerful you really are. And if you aren't informing them of what you're thinking about doing, they're going to want to control you. Like, that's human nature. That's how our world was designed, that social structure. So if you're not telling people what you're thinking about doing, manifestors, you're going to continue feeling confined, and you're going to keep running into walls. So just let us know. That's it. You've got one of the easy, well, We all have our own burdens, but from my perspective, manifestors have it easy. Just tell people what you're doing and then do it. Go forth. Next, we have projectors. This is my personal type, so I'm very familiar with it. Projectors, I feel like have one of the hardest types, but again, we all have our own burdens. I just know from personal experience. So projectors, your ideal decision-making strategy is to wait for the invitation. I know. If you're a projector and you just found that out, that I have to wait to be invited, that can feel kind of overwhelming and lonely. What if you never get invited to anything ever again? One, that's not going to happen. Two, you're going to start getting invited to the right things. So a lot of projectors have this idea about life that they want to create. Like they did I say that right? Projectors. I hope I said that right. Projectors, I guess we should pause for a second and talk a little bit. So projectors ideally have a good understanding of the world around them. Projectors really do serve as mirrors for others and helping the rest of the world see how we're doing. Projectors are very guide-like. Probably why I became a life coach and probably why I'm creating these videos. It's in my design. But a lot of projectors, based on the vision that they want about how great the world could be, have a tendency to push ahead, right? Projectors want to be manifestors. We know what would be great for the world, so we just want to make it happen. Like, just get out of my way and make it happen. But that doesn't work out very well for projectors at all. People are going to resent that. It's going to fall flat. You're going to feel unappreciated. And ultimately, that's where the invitations come from. So if you're a projector, it's not that you're not invited. It's that you want to be invited to the right, best places for you. And that only happens if you're being patient, if you're waiting, and you're in a place where your value and worth can be appreciated. And that's it. And it doesn't have to be an actual other human being inviting you into a situation. If you come across a situation and you're feeling like, you know what, this is where I would be appreciated, this is where I would be honored, this is where who I am would be a really good fit, then you can kind of take that as an invitation from the universe saying like, yes, the doors are open here. But ideally you want to wait for that confirmation of like, this is where I need to be. This is where I'm going to be respected. This is where it's going to work best for me. Okay. So projectors, wait for the invitation. So generators, manifesting generators, respond in that ping pong game with the universe. Manifestors, just tell us what you're doing before you do it, and then full speed ahead, my friends. Projectors, let's wait for the invitation. And last but not least, definitely not least, we have reflectors. And reflectors probably have a little bit worse than reflectors probably have it a little bit worse than everyone else. If you are looking at your chart and there's nothing filled in on your chart, like probably some lines, but no shapes are filled in. And if you've looked at your chart, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't looked at your chart, then why are you still watching this video? Go back, look at your chart, and then come back. This doesn't make sense if you haven't seen your own chart. So reflectors are completely undefined. They are very open, and that means they're very susceptible to their environment. If they're in an environment that feels very go, 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 quick, fast-paced, the reflector is going to feel that in their being, and they're going to want to make decisions in that same kind of structure. If a reflector is an environment that's very pessimistic and very glass half empty, that's going to literally reflect in them. Also, they're going to feel very pessimistic about life. They're going to feel very negative about the outcomes or about the situations that they're in. So reflectors, ideally you are waiting a full lunar cycle. This gives you the chance to ride all of the emotions that you're feeling, really sit with a decision, clear out your environment so that you know what's right for you. And if you are waiting, if you really do give yourself time to wait through the full lunar cycle, you'll know. You'll know. It'll make sense. It'll be the decision that's continuing to come back to you regardless of what situation you're in, regardless of what emotional state you're in. But if you make a decision too quickly before the full lunar cycle, it's when you're not really you. And so it's not going to be the best fit choice for you to make anyways. Okay. I just threw a lot at you. And I know we skimmed over a lot of human design stuff there. There's a ton that goes into human design. I'm a little woo and I'm very comfortable with human design. If you're interested in human design, it's one of the readings that I do. And so we can go even more in depth with your chart. We can talk more about your strategy. We can talk specifically about how your human design type will best address whatever decision you're currently facing. Like I can work with you through that very personal choice that you're facing according to your type. So this is an overview. That was a long-winded way of saying this is an overview, but I did want to let you know that your decision-making strategy helps you make the best decisions. If you know who you are, if you know what your strategy is, you can do this. You can absolutely do this. So again, generators and manifesting generators, you want to respond to the universe. Manifestors, you want to just tell us what you're doing before you do it and then do it. Projectors, you want to wait for the invitation and wait until you know that you are seen and valued before you enter into a decision. And then reflectors, wait a full month, wait a full lunar cycle, and you'll know. You really will know. Okay, so we've covered quite a bit. We've talked about, in the last month, we've talked about your limiting beliefs and how you can go ahead and start dismantling those. We've talked about your inner compass and how to really move forward in life, which direction is best for you, whether you want to move towards liberating or whether you want to move towards tranquil or whether you want to move towards red. Whatever it is, if you have your inner compass, you'll know which direction is yours. And then last, if you know your decision-making personality, that's ammo. You can totally make decisions now. And then just by having those 3 steps tackled, you are so many more steps ahead of getting out of confusion and finding some clarity. And so if you've been facing a decision and you've walked through these 3 steps, I'm feeling like you have a good idea of what's next. And the only thing holding you back is fear now. That's it. We've talked about your limiting beliefs. We've talked about your inner compass. We've talked about your decision-making strategy. So if you started these videos with a decision on your mind and you're still feeling doubtful, know that it's your own fear. All you have to do is get out of your own way and you can do this. I can help. Not to sound like a Home Depot commercial, but you can do this and I can help. My entire purpose on being on this earth is to help others make more choices with soul. Figure out all of the confusion that's going on in your life, help you through authenticity, brilliance, to get to clarity. That's what I'm here for. You can find me at soulandchoice.com. Again, that's soulandchoice.com. You can find me on Instagram at soul.and.choice. And you can email me, misty@soulandchoice.com. My name is Misty, M-I-S-T-I. Just to spell everything, to make sure you get it right. To make sure I'm not missing anything. But I'm here. I want you to live the best life you possibly can, one choice at a time. So keep doing great things. I will see you here next week.